Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Ramadan Storytime with Sister Marsha. I hope you all are having a wonderful day. I hope that Ramadan is continuing to go well for you. Remember that we are in this Ramadan season, and in this season we are to remember Allah often. We are to connect with the Quran, and so we're going to do that by having the story time. And so with our story time tonight, we're going to talk about the Prophet King. So tonight's reading is titled The Prophet King. And without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump into our story. Quran Stories for Kids, and the author is Sunny Yasmin Khan. The Prophet King. Many, many years after the death of the Prophet Musa, alayhi salam, and remember that means upon him be peace, in the 11th century BC, there was much unrest among the Banu Israel due to the Philistines, Amalekites, Amorites, and other tribes trying to take their homeland away from them by force. Then the prophet Shemuel or Samuel alayhi salam made Talut or Saul their king, and he fought with the Philistines. His army fought and defeated the enemy. Dawood alayhi salam, who was in his youth, also took part in the battle. He slew Jalut or Goliath, the commander of the Philistine army. And this way, Dawood became very popular and was made the king. He was granted prophethood at the age of 40, and the Zabur or the Psalms were revealed to him. Dawood was given special rights by Allah. The plants used to sing and praise of Allah along with him. And here we can see like a forest imagery. You see a butterfly and some flowers and the trees and those plants that we just read about. The mountains would join him in singing the praises of Allah. And here we see some more of that nature scenery with some birds in the trees. The birds too used to sing with him in praise of Allah. Once, when he was praying in his private room, two men with a grudge against each other broke in by climbing over the wall. He was taken aback but they pleaded that they had come only to see justice done. One of them said, "We are brothers, and we have a quarrel, which we want you to settle." The other said, "This man is my brother. He has 99 sheep, and I only have one. Yet he tells me to hand it over to him. And that is not all. He speaks to me harshly." At first, Dawood believed everything they said and began preaching to them. But no sooner had he begun than they left as miraculously as they had come. Dawood then realized that this was meant to teach him something about himself. He immediately fell down on the ground and before Allah asked for his forgiveness. It is believed that the two men fighting with each other were angels sent by Allah to warn him by acting out a parable. The use of iron was taught by Allah, perhaps for the first time, to Dawood. We made iron pliant for him, saying, fashion coats of mail. Dawood was also taught the language of the birds. When he recited the Zabur or the Psalms, the birds would also join him in praising Allah. The mountains too used to praise Allah along with him. He was given special help against his enemies and great wisdom to judge between the truth and falsehood. And that was our reading for this evening. Our next story is going to be The Ants Panic. So I hope that you join me for that one. Thank you all for joining me tonight for our story from the Quran Stories for Kids series. This one was titled The Prophet King. And in this story, we learned a little bit about the prophet king, who is Dawood. And so I hope you enjoyed tonight's story. I look forward to being able to read the next story to you. Inshallah, or if God wills, we will be here tomorrow, another day in the month of Ramadan, reading another story in the Ramadan Storytime with Sister Marsha series. Thank you so much for joining me. Ramadan Mubarak. Assalamu alaikum. See you next time.